Welcome to your weekly astrology update for the week of June 22nd to June 29th, 2026. This week marks a transition from inspiration to implementation. As Mars changes signs, our focus shifts toward practical action and meaningful progress. At the same time, supportive influences from Saturn and Neptune help us balance responsibility with intuition, while Jupiter reaches a powerful point of completion. As the week unfolds, we are invited to create stronger foundations, trust our inner guidance, and recognize how far we've already come. After each astrological influence, you'll find reflection questions to help you consciously work with these energies. 1. Mars enters Virgo. From inspiration to implementation. The week's most significant shift occurs as Mars leaves Leo and enters Virgo. Mars governs action, motivation, ambition, and how we pursue our goals. Leo encourages boldness, creativity, and self-expression. Virgo focuses on improvement, organization, and practical results. Have you ever had a brilliant idea but struggled to turn it into reality? Sometimes we spend so much time imagining what could happen that we forget to take the next practical step. We wait until everything feels perfect. We wait until we feel completely ready. Yet progress rarely begins with perfection. Mars entering Virgo reminds us that meaningful change happens through consistent action, not flawless planning. Let's explore how this energy may be inviting you to reflect on the following questions. What area of my life needs greater organization? What practical step can I take today? Where am I waiting for perfection before taking action? What habit would improve my daily life? What goal deserves more consistent effort? 2. The Sun in Cancer. Returning to what truly matters. As the Sun continues its journey through Cancer, our attention naturally turns toward emotional security, family, home, and belonging. Have you ever achieved something you thought would make you happy, only to realize that what you truly wanted was peace? We often search for fulfillment through accomplishments, recognition, or external success. Yet eventually life asks a deeper question. Do you feel emotionally supported by the life you are building? Cancer reminds us that our emotional foundations matter. This week encourages us to reconnect with what nourishes us emotionally and to create space for the people and environments that genuinely feel like home. Let's explore how this influence may be inviting you to reflect on the following questions. What makes me feel emotionally safe? Where do I feel most at home? What emotional need have I been neglecting? Who truly supports me? What deserves more care and attention? 3. Sun trine Saturn. Building a stronger foundation. This week, the Sun forms a supportive trine to Saturn. In astrology, a trine is considered one of the most harmonious aspects. Rather than creating obstacles or tension, a trine allows two energies to work together naturally. Instead of feeling blocked, you may feel supported. Instead of forcing progress, you may notice things falling into place more easily. With Saturn involved, this natural flow supports responsibility, commitment, maturity, and long-term thinking. Have you ever looked back on something meaningful you created and realized it wasn't built in a single day? The strongest relationships, the greatest achievements, the deepest confidence. None of them happen overnight. They are built through patience, consistency, and the willingness to keep showing up even when results aren't immediately visible. This Sun-Saturn trine reminds us that progress doesn't always arrive through dramatic breakthroughs. Often, it arrives through small choices repeated over time. You may find it easier to focus on what truly matters rather than what simply feels urgent. Decisions may feel clearer, priorities may become easier to identify, and the effort you've been investing may finally begin to feel worthwhile. Rather than asking, "What do I want right now?" you may find yourself asking, "What will still matter a year from now?" Let's explore how this energy may be inviting you to reflect on the following questions. What am I committed to building? What responsibility am I ready to embrace? What long-term goal deserves more attention? Where do I need greater patience? What foundation am I creating for my future? 4. Sun trine Neptune. Trusting your inner wisdom. This week, the Sun also forms a harmonious trine to Neptune. Just like the Sun-Saturn trine, This is a supportive aspect. The difference is that Neptune works with intuition, imagination, compassion, spirituality, and inspiration. Because this is a trine, the energy flows naturally. Logic and intuition are not competing with each other. Instead, they support one another. Have you ever known something was right before you could logically explain why? Maybe a feeling kept returning. Maybe a dream stayed with you. Maybe a quiet inner voice continued repeating the same message until you finally paid attention. Not every answer arrives through analysis. Sometimes clarity arrives through intuition. Sometimes guidance arrives through feeling. And sometimes the path forward becomes clear when we stop forcing answers and allow ourselves to listen. This Sun-Neptune trine reminds us that intuition is also a form of intelligence. You may feel more connected to your creativity, your dreams, your spiritual practice, or your inner knowing. The purpose of this energy isn't to escape reality. It's to help you combine practical action with inner guidance. While Saturn helps you build the structure, Neptune helps you remember the vision. Together, these two trines create a beautiful balance between responsibility and trust. Let's explore how this energy may be inviting you to reflect on the following questions. What is my intuition trying to tell me? What dream am I ready to take seriously? Where do I need more trust? What inspires me most deeply? What would happen if I listened more carefully to my inner voice? 5. Jupiter at 29 degrees Cancer, recognizing how far you've come. As the week comes to a close, Jupiter reaches the final degree of Cancer. The final degree of a sign often represents completion, wisdom, and the culmination of a larger cycle. Have you ever been so focused on where you're going that you forgot to appreciate how far you've already come? Growth isn't always obvious while it's happening. Sometimes it only becomes visible when we pause long enough to look back. Jupiter at the final degree of Cancer invites us to acknowledge our emotional growth, our resilience, and the lessons we've learned about security, belonging, and self-nurturing. Let's explore how this energy may be inviting you to reflect on the following questions. What have I learned about myself recently? What chapter is reaching completion? How have I grown emotionally? What am I ready to leave behind? What wisdom am I taking into the next chapter? The overall energy of the week. Turning potential into progress. When we look at this week's energies together, a clear message begins to emerge. Mars encourages action. Cancer encourages emotional honesty. Saturn encourages commitment. Neptune encourages trust. Jupiter encourages reflection and growth. The common thread running through all of these influences is simple. You already have more of the answers than you realize. This week isn't about searching for something outside yourself. It's about taking what you've learned, trusting what you feel, and moving forward with greater confidence and clarity. Let's explore how this week's overall energy may be inviting you to reflect on the following questions. What am I ready to commit to? What practical action will move me forward? What does my intuition already know? What emotional foundation am I building? What future am I creating through today's choices? I hope you found this weekly astrology update insightful and helpful as you navigate the energies of the week ahead. Remember, astrology isn't here to tell you what will happen. It's here to invite you to reflect, grow, and become more aware of the opportunities and lessons that may be unfolding in your life. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear which message resonated with you the most this week. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I look forward to seeing you again next Sunday at 6 p.m. for another weekly astrology update. Until then, trust your journey, stay open to new possibilities, and take good care of yourself. With love, your Xanthe.